Soon after we got going, he said, look, you're going to need an entomologist. And I was not looking forward to spending more money, but we did, and we've used Dan Papacek, who has a company called Bugs for Bugs, and he has an Order of Australia for his work. He's at Mundabra in Queensland, and he works in citrus a lot up there and throughout Australia. He has addressed a number of problems that if we hadn't jumped on them with his help, we would have really got into trouble. When we started off with young trees, we put tree guards on them. They're sort of like milk cartons, and it proved that these, though necessary to put the guard on, they were a perfect environment for ants, and the ants would build their nest up in there, and then they'd be up in the tree. And the ant farms all the scale insects, so within a short time we had red scale emerging all over the orchard, and soft scale, and then that soft scale leads to sooty mould and a whole number of problems. So rather than Dan Papacek, Bugs for Bugs, is an integrated pest management man, rather than just spray the whole thing for scale insect, we didn't do that at all. We went back to the cause of the problem, which was the ant, and now at least twice a year we put out an ant bait. We make it ourselves out of polenta and an active insecticide, and we just sprinkle that down the rows with a tractor application. Very simple, very, very cheap. Our ant population's now very small. All the scale is practically gone. That's the soft scales and the sooty mould. That problem's been, I think, just about nailed. Then the other problem we had with the insects was the red scale, which is apparent on the fruit. And we've been releasing Asphytus wasps to biologically control them. Dan breeds those at Mundabra, and we release several million of those twice a year. And they attack the red scale and parasite it, lay their egg in it, and that's pretty well got that under control. We want to get our Asphytus levels up, and we probably have to boost it every year with a fresh stock from him. But it's again a really useful technique, and through integrated pest management we've never ever done a blanket spray for insects in the orchard. If we get a chronic case of red scale, we might treat that tree or a few trees around it, but we've never done a blanket scale, a spray, and that's a wonderful thing, because once you start the spray thing, you get rid of the beneficial insects, and you get into this continuous spray thing that, in September you apply one chemical, and you follow it up in October, November, December. You get into spray cycle because you've got rid of all the predators. So Dan's thing is, there's good insects and bad insects, and you've got to get this balance happening, and it's proven to be very successful here. We're very fortunate to have had him help us.
Yeah.
Okay, fruit fly are one of the pests that we have to deal with. They'll only attract the fruit when they're ripe, so they are only just a problem in that the fruit are starting to turn in May, and that's the end of the fruit fly season, and we should have them all harvested by the end of September when the weather warms up and the flies are about. But we have to be careful all the same. So we monitor in each block by putting up a simple fruit fly trap which has an attractant in it, and it attracts the male fly, and it kills them in there. So we'll go around every week or 10 days and record how many fruit fly we have right through the year, so we can see what's happening with the fruit fly population in the orchard. And then if there is a problem, and we thought just in May we were getting towards the problem because we were looking for a frost, because once we get the frost, that's about the end of the fruit fly. So we got a bit nervous, and we then went through and we baited all the females by spraying a small amount of an attractant on each tree, and that lures the female and kills them. So we know what's going on by this trap, and if the numbers build up, then we'll go the next step, which is putting out the attractant for the female. So we believe, and entomologist tells us that fruit fly, even if we were in a season where they were about, we can control them, and we don't spray everything by doing. We'll put out attractants.
There. See the little chaps there?
You're talking about red scale. Because we're doing juice fruit, the physical appearance of the orange is not as important as it would be for table. But this piece of fruit here has had some scale on it. You can see these little marks here, but if you look carefully, you'll see that that's been parasitized by the Asphytus wasp, and it's been taken out. And I think all the scale problem here has been parasitized. You see the little marks. It'll wash off in a pack house. It's not a great problem, but the presence of scale is bad because it's going to make the fruit look terrible, but it also holds the whole tree back. It's just like another parasite that's hanging off the system of the tree, so it holds the tree back. So you've got to get rid of it. And Asphytus wasp is a great way, and if the population gets up, we use white oil, which is we use it at a low rate so that it doesn't kill other beneficial insects. We use it at about 1/3 of 1%, and we might do that 2 or 3 applications. We only done that on one block. The Asphytus has taken care of most of it. Our entomologist had a look at this problem. I don't remember the name of the bug. Just one hole on each piece of fruit, and after a certain time it just drops it. But we said, well, how much fruit are we going to lose? And are we going to lose 3 tons? $900? What's it going to cost to spray this thing? What damage is it going to do to the beneficial insects? It's probably better to live with this problem and just let this insect take a bit of fruit out. But next year we'll be watching it pretty closely again. There will be a point maybe we will have to spray for this fella here. But we've sacrificed a bit of fruit. We've got a lot of fruit on the trees, so it doesn't really matter. And we haven't sprayed, so we've got all our beneficial insects working for us in the tree.